So Rolling Loud Miami so far has definitely been something, but there's one thing I want to talk about. And yes, Travis Scott came out last night with Future. I don't really have any much to say about that than you guys probably already know from me. But, with the Kid Cudi situation on Friday, there's a lot to be said. And I want to kind of take a look at timeline from before the event going into it. So, they had Kanye booked, and naysayers, myself included, were out here thinking Kanye just canceled on Coachella. I don't know why he would agree to something like a Rolling Loud that A, hasn't been around that long, and B, definitely doesn't have the same resources that Coachella is willing to give him. So in my mind, I was like, it wouldn't really make sense if he actually came through and gave a performance, and well, lo and behold, he canceled. So you're Rolling Loud in that situation, and honestly, you should already have potential backups in mind because you tried to book Ye. But if you look at their social media and stuff, you can see that they were not backing down from people saying that we don't think Kanye's coming. They were like, all right, wait and see. And so Kanye drops. They booked Kid Cudi, which is, and I said this in a previous video, it's kind of Shakespearean in a way because these two used to be so close, best friends, Kanye and Cudi. And now one's replacing the other last minute at the biggest rap festival in the US. And so that had kind of people scratching their heads, myself included, thinking, this won't play over well because right now the split in the audiences between Kid Cudi and Kanye fans, it's apparent. And Kanye's driving that point home, sort of throwing shade at Kid Cudi after fallouts and recouping again together in the past. It's combative and it's toxic, but it happened. And Rolling Loud, Cudi, they made it happen somehow. And then this is what happens. So Cardi's set gets cut a little bit short. Okay, so that leaves a larger gap in time than there usually would be between Kid Cudi and Cardi, who played before Cudi. But you have Lil Durk starting earlier at a different stage. Almost an hour earlier, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're at a festival and you think, okay, I can either sit here and wait, I don't know how much time exactly it was, but wait more time to see Cudi, or just go right now, save some time, see Durk, and then, come back and see the end of Cudi. That is a smart festival decision. And I'm sure, and it looked to be that was a decision that many made. But those that stayed at Cudi, it's hard to say if they were true Cudi fans because it seems like the set didn't really even get time to start up before quote unquote fans were throwing stuff at Cudi. And the reasons for that vary, but it's not an isolated incident, especially at rap shows as of late. Throwing things at artists, touching artists, and overall just sort of breaking that safe space between the audience and the artist that's supposed to be there and ensured by the venue itself. So you look at the situation at Rolling Loud and you can point fingers at the fans, and I do too. I know there's one specific fan out there who bragged about getting Cudi off stage by throwing that final water bottle or whatever at him, literally bragging about it. I'm not even going to post his stuff here. It's just not worth giving him the clout that he so desperately wants, but that happened. If the responsibility falls on Rolling Loud, it really does, to control their audience, to make sure that the set times and everything else prepare the audience for what they're going to experience. So, not letting them wait 2 hours before a set that's a replacement. Like, that's kind of unacceptable. And because we can sit here all day and say like it's the fans, and it might be, but the people that can control the fans are Rolling Loud. The festival that the fans bought tickets to. If you look at larger festivals like Lollapalooza, they'll often ask audiences, take a few steps back, or we'll stop the show. Do this, or we'll stop the show. Will they actually stop the show? You really don't know. But there is sort of that voice of God telling you, do this or else this won't continue, whether that be for safety reasons or anything else. But that happened, and Cudi rightfully got upset and said, before this last kid threw one thing, he's like, if you throw one more thing, I'm out. And rightfully so. This isn't a situation like a Drake at Camp Flog Gnaw where, you know, I don't think people were hurling things at him on stage. That's different than booing. Booing is an audible reaction. Throwing things is an action, period. So Cudi leaves stage, obviously disrespected. Rolling Loud just fumbled the bag there. And what's going on over at Lil Durk stage? Kanye comes out. And not only that, but he comes out to Father Stretch My Hands Part 1, prominently the part of the Kid Cudi verse, raps a little bit on it, and then proceeds to leave. And, you know, Rolling Loud, their Twitter was tweeting like, Kanye showed up at Lil Durk. It's like, you guys should be embarrassed right now. I'm sorry. Because Kanye doesn't get in and out of the festival without the festival organizers knowing. You know, you might be able to say like, you know, Kanye can get anywhere he wants, blah, blah, blah. They know what's going on. And for them to sort of parade and celebrate that fact when this artist, Kanye, just kind of ruined your Friday night, it's like, where's the line for you guys to say, this affects our bottom line? I don't know, we should parade and celebrate this thing just for one artist. Granted, that one artist is Kanye West, so that's kind of the tricky thing here. But there's also the question, did Kanye do it on purpose? Absolutely. You know, it was definitely malicious, I would say. I mean, to come out with Durk, no, but to come out with Durk, playing the song with the Cudi verse during Cudi's set or right smack dab in the middle before his set is inherently disrespectful, and I don't really think there's a lot of argument against that, but it still happened and it still exists. And I want to just kind of save this last part to talk about the culture of fan disrespect at concerts. I spoke to it a little bit earlier, and just how fans, it seems now younger, more inexperienced in terms of the social settings of shows, these fans feel entitled to something. And honestly, I think a lot of these fans come from the post-COVID concert world where it's like either they've never been to a concert before, or, you know, they had a span of years where they couldn't go to shows and they're still dispensing that energy now. I think there's like a million factors that go into this, but ultimately I think it's this culture that parades and celebrates, I don't want to use the word debauchery, but disrespect towards artists. We saw this with Lucky. We see this with even someone like Tyler, where it's like, you may not see it as disrespect, but throwing like an ID or a phone on stage, it's just not, it's not cool, first of all. Second of all, for me at least, it's a weird, desperate attempt at clout, saying like, oh my God, if they can get a video on my phone that I can upload and get blah, blah. It's like, is this worth losing your $1,000 phone? And I say no. And like, I looked at that situation, like when I was younger, I was at festivals like, oh my God, I want to be there taking the pictures. I want to be behind the scenes. And now that I'm in that space, and I worked really hard to get to those spaces, it makes me more upset to see people that think that, like I said, they are entitled to something because they paid the ticket price. It's like, no, you paid the ticket price to get in and get a show performed to you, but you did not pay to get the one-on-one fan artist interaction. That's why they have meet and greet packages at concerts and tours. So I just wanted to kind of dabble in that a little bit and say that, you know, this type of behavior won't change unless the venues and the concert promoters make it apparent that this type of disrespect is not allowed and it's prohibited. And because, you know, you can't say that the artist is the one to say like, hey fans, stop doing that. They can help and they can say, and like that definitely helps. I'm not saying it doesn't, but you know, at the end of the day, they are not the entity that is responsible for stuff like this. For the behavior, let's say Cudi got injured, that's on the venue. You know, that's not, they're not gonna pull the specific fan. I'm sure if they can easily locate him, they'll do that as a scapegoat, but it falls on the venue. It does. And I just don't see this culture shifting anytime soon without some sort of larger entity coming in, that whether that be a Rolling Loud or another festival, and kind of making the precedent that this type of stuff shouldn't happen. And I'd be surprised if we don't see it happen again pretty soon. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that. More videos, interviews, all of that coming soon. Thank you.